Life possesses an uncanny knack for imparting invaluable lessons to us, often in the most unexpected ways. Paradoxically, the more we endeavor to meticulously orchestrate every minute detail, the ultimate outcomes, the precise timing of events, and even the way individuals react to situations, the more profoundly frustrated and utterly exhausted we inevitably become. We meticulously blueprint our lives, meticulously mapping out even the most insignificant steps, fueled by the unwavering belief that if we simply exert more effort, relentlessly push ourselves beyond our perceived limits, and never relinquish control, then, at long last, everything will miraculously align and fall perfectly into place. But what if I were to reveal to you that the precise opposite is, in fact, the unvarnished truth? What if I were to suggest that the very instant you consciously cease forcing circumstances, stop desperately grasping for control, and instead begin wholeheartedly trusting in the natural unfolding of events, everything miraculously begins to flow with an almost unbelievable sense of effortlessness? This is not, emphatically not, about surrendering to apathy or relinquishing your dreams. Rather, it is about cultivating a profound understanding of precisely where your true power genuinely resides. The ancient Stoics, with their unparalleled wisdom, mastered this profound way of thinking centuries ago, leaving behind a legacy of invaluable insights. Marcus Aurelius, the renowned Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, once eloquently wrote about the paramount importance of wholeheartedly accepting what comes naturally, embracing the present moment without resistance, and resolutely refraining from wasting precious energy fighting against the undeniable reality of the world around us. He possessed an unparalleled understanding that futilely struggling against those things that lie demonstrably beyond the sphere of our control only serves to perpetuate unnecessary suffering, adding to the weight of our burdens. The real, enduring battle, he astutely observed, is always waged within the inner sanctum of our own minds, tirelessly training the mind to steadfastly focus on that which can be actively shaped and positively influenced, while simultaneously gracefully letting go of the overwhelming weight of the rest. And that, my friends, is precisely what we are diving headfirst into today, the transformative mindset shift that has the remarkable potential to fundamentally alter the way you approach not only the tangible aspects of worldly success but also the intricate tapestry of human relationships, and, perhaps most importantly, your own profound and enduring inner peace of mind. This is a journey into the heart of resilience, acceptance, and the liberating power of trust. It is about reclaiming your agency by relinquishing the illusion of absolute control and embracing the beautiful, unpredictable dance of life. Given that persistent stress and the feeling that your efforts are fruitless are common experiences, there exists a fundamental explanation for this. It often stems from a tendency to cling too firmly to aspects of life that are, by their very nature, uncontrollable. This isn't merely another self-improvement discourse, it delves into something profoundly more significant. It concerns embracing authentic confidence and navigating life with a sense of tranquility and assurance, rather than being consumed by anxiety and disappointment. Believe me, should you watch until the conclusion, you will gain an entirely transformed understanding of how to attain desired outcomes in life without resorting to desperate pursuit. Prior to delving deeper, I humbly request a small courtesy. If you find value in the content we create, please consider clicking the subscribe button. The action requires less than a second, yet it significantly aids in extending the reach of this content to a wider audience who may derive benefit from it. With that said, let's commence. We dedicate a substantial portion of our lives to obsessing over outcomes. We anticipate the arrival of that job offer, we cherish the hope that a relationship will flourish, and we endure stress over whether our exertions will yield the desired rewards. Therefore, it is essential to understand the root causes of these feelings. This is not simply about achieving goals, but rather about understanding the psychology behind our attachment to specific outcomes. By learning to release the need for control, we can experience greater peace and fulfillment. This shift in perspective will allow you to approach life with renewed confidence and a sense of calm, ultimately leading to more positive outcomes. We often convince ourselves that by exerting a little more effort, by pushing ourselves just a bit harder, we can manipulate circumstances to align with our desires. However, what is the ultimate consequence of this relentless pursuit? Paradoxically, the more we cling to a particular result, the more anxiety consumes us. Consequently, the very process we are engaged in ceases to be gratifying, and our sense of contentment becomes entirely contingent upon an element beyond our complete mastery. It is precisely within this framework that we often find ourselves ensnared. The Stoic philosophers, renowned for their wisdom, possessed a profound understanding of this very predicament. Epictetus, a prominent figure among them, articulated the notion that our suffering arises not from the events themselves, but rather from our unwavering attachment to predetermined outcomes. He famously proclaimed, "Do not seek for things to happen the way you want them to, rather, wish that what happens happens as it should, and you will be happy." To put it another way, instead of tethering your happiness to a specific, predetermined objective, redirect your attention toward the process itself. Concentrate your energies on what you can genuinely influence: your actions, your self-discipline, and your overall mindset. Simultaneously, learn to relinquish your grip on everything else that lies beyond your sphere of control. This is the path to true tranquility. Consider, for instance, an artist meticulously crafting a masterpiece. If this artist becomes overly fixated on achieving absolute perfection with each and every brush stroke, constantly burdened by anxieties about the judgments of others, they will inevitably struggle to enter that coveted state of creative flow. The very act of creation becomes a source of stress, hindering their ability to fully express their artistic vision and ultimately diminishing the joy derived from their craft. Thus, the artist must learn to embrace the process, accepting imperfections and focusing on the present moment, to truly unlock their creative potential. However, when artists release their grip on the desired end product and instead concentrate solely on the very act of painting, a remarkable transformation occurs. They become completely engrossed in the present moment. The creative process becomes fluid and seamless. And, quite paradoxically, it is in this state of focused immersion that they produce their most exceptional work. This fundamental principle extends far beyond the realm of art, influencing every facet of existence, our careers, our interpersonal connections, and our individual development. When we cease to be obsessed with a preconceived notion of how things must unfold, we unlock a profound sense of liberation, allowing us to fully appreciate the journey itself. This is particularly evident within the complexities of human relationships. Have you ever observed an individual exerting an excessive amount of effort to impress another? Their energy often radiates a sense of neediness, of desperation, almost of artificiality. And what is the typical consequence of such behavior? It inevitably pushes people away. Contrast this with someone who exudes confidence, who is comfortable in their own skin, and who is not consumed by the desire for a specific result. This individual naturally draws others towards them. But why does this occur? Simply because they are not governed by fear. They possess an unwavering trust that whatever is destined to happen will ultimately come to pass. This, in essence, is the true power of detachment. It is the ability to let go and trust the natural flow of events. Now, let us delve into the concept of success. A great many individuals hold the firm belief that if they fail to reach a particular goal by a defined deadline, they have suffered a complete and irreversible failure. This is a harsh and often unrealistic perspective. In reality, the path to success is rarely a straight line. It is often a winding road with unexpected detours and setbacks. Therefore, it is essential to embrace flexibility and adaptability in our pursuit of ambitions. People sometimes approach existence as if it were a meticulously crafted checklist, demanding graduation by a specific age, the accumulation of a certain sum of money, marriage by another predetermined point, and the attainment of a particular level of accomplishment. Consequently, when circumstances deviate from this carefully constructed plan, they descend into a vortex of self-doubt and uncertainty. However, the crucial point to grasp is that triumph is not a linear trajectory. It is, in reality, a winding road characterized by unanticipated diversions, discouraging setbacks, and unforeseen opportunities. In essence, fixating too intently on a singular, predetermined outcome can blind you to potentially superior alternatives that life is endeavoring to present. Take a pause and thoughtfully consider this fundamental question: what am I clutching onto too firmly? Which specific objective, preconceived expectation, or desired outcome is the source of my prevailing stress and anxiety? Now, visualize the potential ramifications of relaxing that grip, not abandoning your aspirations entirely, but cultivating a profound trust that regardless of the unfolding events, you will ultimately persevere and find contentment. This is the essence of detachment, a concept often misunderstood. It does not imply a cessation of caring or a relinquishing of passion. Rather, it signifies a liberation from the compulsion to control every minute detail, freeing yourself from the need for things to unfold in a precise manner in order to experience inner peace and tranquility. Therefore, how does one cultivate this invaluable skill within the context of everyday existence? Firstly, establish a daily practice of reminding yourself that external outcomes, by their very nature, reside beyond the sphere of your direct influence. The only elements truly subject to your dominion are your individual effort, your unwavering discipline, and your overarching mindset. Second, undertake a conscious reframing of your cognitive processes. Develop the ability to perceive situations from diverse perspectives, recognizing that setbacks are not necessarily indicators of failure, but rather opportunities for growth and learning. Instead of clinging desperately to the phrase, "I need this to happen," consider a subtle yet profound shift in your internal dialogue. Embrace, instead, the mantra, "I trust that whatever happens will be for my growth." This isn't about passive acceptance, it's about recognizing the inherent potential for learning and development within every experience, regardless of its immediate appearance. This powerful affirmation allows you to navigate uncertainty with a sense of purpose and resilience. And finally, perhaps most crucially, direct your attention, your energy, and your very being to the present moment. The more completely and wholeheartedly you immerse yourself in the now, the less authority the future, with all its anxieties and unknowns, can wield over you. The future becomes less of a daunting prospect and more of a canvas upon which you can paint your intentions. Life, as we all know, relentlessly throws challenges at us. Some days, existence seems to flow effortlessly, a gentle current carrying us along. On other days, however, it feels as though the entire world is actively conspiring against you, a relentless headwind opposing every step. However, the distinction between individuals who crumble under pressure and those who not only survive but actually thrive is not a matter of mere chance or luck, it is, fundamentally, a question of mindset. The particular way you think profoundly shapes the very manner in which you experience life itself. Consequently, if you fail to cultivate and master your mind will inevitably master you, dictating your reactions and limiting your potential. Therefore, it is essential to remember that you cannot always exert complete control over the external circumstances that surround you, the fluctuating economy, the unpredictable actions of other individuals, the emergence of unforeseen obstacles. However, and this is paramount, you absolutely can control how you choose to respond to these external forces. This power of response is where genuine agency resides. When you consciously shift your mindset from one of simple, knee-jerk reaction to one of thoughtful, considered response, everything, almost miraculously, changes. You move from being a puppet on strings to the author of your own narrative. You begin to see opportunities where you once saw only roadblocks. The eminent psychologist William James, a figure often revered as the father of modern psychology, once articulated a profound truth: the greatest weapon against stress is our ability to choose one thought over another. This eloquent statement encapsulates the very essence of what the ancient Stoics so diligently taught their students. This core principle empowers us to actively shape our mental landscape and cultivate inner peace amidst the inevitable storms of life. It is, therefore, a timeless and invaluable tool for navigating the complexities of human existence. It's absolutely crucial to remember that you are not obligated to accept every single thought that wanders into your consciousness. You are not required to allow every challenging period to dictate your entire identity. Instead, you possess the power to cultivate the skill of reinterpreting situations, to consciously take a step back, and to observe them from an entirely fresh viewpoint. To illustrate this further, let's consider another scenario. Picture yourself navigating a particularly arduous period at your workplace. You are consistently committing errors, your supervisor is constantly monitoring your every move, and you are overwhelmed by a sense of inadequacy. One possible response to this situation is to indulge in negative self-talk, such as, "I'm simply incompetent at this task. I will never improve. Perhaps I am fundamentally inadequate." This represents a fixed mindset, which can confine you within a cycle of self-doubt and negativity. However, what if you intentionally altered that line of thinking? What if, instead, you affirmed to yourself, "I am actively learning. Each mistake is imparting valuable lessons. The pressure I am currently experiencing is, in fact, contributing to my overall growth and development." This embodies a growth mindset, a powerful tool that enables you to transform struggles and setbacks into invaluable opportunities for advancement. The Stoics, renowned philosophers of antiquity, firmly believed that every challenge presents an opportunity to cultivate virtue, patience, resilience, and profound wisdom. Seneca, the esteemed Stoic philosopher, once proclaimed, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." Consequently, every struggle, every setback, and every moment of frustration is, in essence, training you to become more resilient, adaptable, and ultimately, stronger. Embrace these challenges as opportunities to hone your character and unlock your full potential. Therefore, by adopting a growth mindset, you can navigate life's inevitable difficulties with grace and emerge stronger on the other side. Envision it as weightlifting, a pursuit of physical prowess. Should you consistently shy away from challenging yourself, you will never truly cultivate strength. The very same principle holds firm for your mental landscape. However, let's acknowledge the truth. Achieving mastery over your mindset is not an instantaneous metamorphosis. It necessitates consistent, daily dedication. A straightforward avenue to embark upon this journey? Heighten your awareness of your internal monologue. Are you perpetually nourishing yourself with thoughts steeped in trepidation, skepticism, and negativity? Or are you, in essence, training your mind to perceive opportunities, to reinterpret circumstances, to maintain composure when confronted with uncertainty? Your mind, you see, is akin to a garden, a fertile ground where your thoughts take root. The seeds you sow dictate the harvest you reap. If you plant seeds of apprehension and anxiety, they will inevitably proliferate and dominate. Conversely, should you cultivate seeds of fortitude, lucidity, and resilience, these qualities will flourish and prevail. Another potent strategy for fortifying your mindset. Dedicate yourself to anchoring yourself in the present moment. An overwhelming proportion of stress stems from dwelling obsessively on the past or succumbing to anxieties about the future. Yet, the sole element over which you possess unwavering control is this very moment, the present. The next time you find yourself feeling overwhelmed, pose this pivotal question: what concrete action can I undertake right now that will propel me forward? This singular inquiry possesses the power to swiftly liberate you from the clutches of panic and redirect your focus toward matters of paramount importance. It serves as a mental reset, bringing clarity and purpose to the forefront. Patience, undoubtedly, represents one of the most demanding virtues to cultivate, particularly when you are diligently striving toward a significant aspiration. It demands a conscious effort to temper expectations and embrace the gradual nature of progress. It is a key ingredient in the recipe for mental fortitude. You have dedicated yourself to the task, meticulously following all the prescribed steps, and still, it appears that nothing tangible is materializing. This can be incredibly frustrating, can't it? Contemporary society often propagates the notion that success should manifest swiftly. We are led to believe that if immediate outcomes are not apparent, then we must be fundamentally flawed in our approach. However, the unvarnished truth is that life operates independently of our imposed timelines. It progresses in accordance with its intrinsic cadence, and attempting to accelerate this natural progression frequently culminates in disillusionment. The Stoics, those ancient philosophers of resilience and wisdom, possessed a profound understanding of this fundamental principle. Epictetus, a prominent Stoic thinker, once articulated, "No great thing is created suddenly." Ponder that insightful statement for a moment. Anything of genuine and enduring value, whether it be profound wisdom, unyielding strength, or lasting success, necessitates a period of gestation and gradual development. Just as you cannot coerce a tree into accelerated growth by forcibly pulling on its branches, similarly, you cannot compel life to bestow upon you your desired outcomes prematurely. There exists an inherent order and timing to all things. Consequently, when you cultivate the capacity to trust in this natural rhythm, you liberate yourself from a significant burden of needless anxiety and stress. Consider, for instance, a young, aspiring artist who harbors a burning desire to establish a reputable name for themselves in the art world. They dedicate countless hours to their craft, passionately infusing their very soul into each creation. Despite their unwavering commitment and artistic fervor, they are not receiving the widespread recognition and acclaim that they so earnestly seek. This situation, common as it is, exemplifies the often unseen lag between effort and reward, a concept central to Stoic philosophy and crucial for navigating the unpredictable currents of life. At this juncture, individuals find themselves facing a critical fork in the road, presenting them with fundamentally distinct paths forward. They are essentially presented with two starkly contrasting choices. First, they may succumb to frustration, allowing doubt to creep in and erode their resolve, ultimately leading them to abandon their pursuit entirely. Alternatively, and perhaps more wisely, they can choose to place their unwavering trust in the understanding that each brushstroke, each individual effort, each seemingly insignificant piece of work is, in fact, meticulously preparing them for something far grander, even if the nature of that greatness remains obscured from their immediate view. Consequently, those who steadfastly maintain faith in the journey, in the inherent value of the process itself, are those who persevere and continue moving forward, step by deliberate step. Inevitably, through their dedication and unwavering belief, they will discover themselves precisely where they are destined to be, having earned their place through diligent effort and unwavering patience. We currently exist within a culture deeply ingrained with a desire for instant gratification. We crave fast food, demand fast information, and expect fast success. We have been subtly conditioned, almost from birth, to believe that if a desired outcome does not manifest itself with swift immediacy, then it is simply not worth the investment of our time and energy. However, it is crucial to recognize that certain things, those of genuine and lasting value, inherently necessitate the passage of time. They require nurturing, cultivation, and deliberate patience. Relationships, for instance, require time and effort to flourish. Personal growth is a gradual, evolving process. And the mastery of any skill demands dedicated practice and unwavering perseverance. The ancient philosopher Socrates once wisely stated, "To do is to be." This profound statement encapsulates the understanding that genuine growth resides within the process itself, not solely in the attainment of the ultimate outcome. If your focus is perpetually fixated on anticipating when something will happen, you inadvertently deprive yourself of the opportunity to fully appreciate and understand who you are becoming along the way, the person being forged in the fires of experience. Herein lies the intricate complexity of the situation, however. How does one maintain a steadfast state of patience, a calm and unwavering resolve, when it feels as though nothing tangible is actually happening, when progress seems frustratingly slow or even non-existent? The Stoics, those masters of self-control and emotional resilience, would undoubtedly advise us to focus our attention and energy solely on that which lies within our sphere of control. Therefore, the key is to concentrate on what we can influence, rather than becoming consumed by anxieties about things beyond our reach. While the precise timing of events may often elude our direct influence, the power to govern our own actions remains firmly within our grasp. You possess the capacity to persistently present yourself, diligently invest effort, and continuously cultivate personal growth. Most crucially, you can nurture an unwavering trust that if an opportunity or outcome is genuinely destined for you, it will inevitably materialize at the precise moment ordained, not a fraction of a second premature, nor a moment delayed. Indeed, one of the most profound and invaluable lessons imparted by Stoicism centers upon the transformative power of acceptance. Marcus Aurelius, the esteemed Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, eloquently penned, "Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together." Rather than engaging in futile resistance against life's inherent timing, endeavor to wholeheartedly embrace its unfolding. If circumstances are not progressing at the accelerated pace you desire, perhaps it is because you are still actively engaged in the crucial process of evolving into the individual fully prepared to receive them. Therefore, cultivate patience and trust in your journey. Have you ever observed the curious phenomenon whereby, when you relentlessly pursue a particular objective, it appears to recede further into the distance? This holds true whether it pertains to securing a desired job, nurturing a meaningful relationship, or even achieving the coveted state of success. The more frantic and needy your energy emanates, the more readily opportunities seem to elude your grasp, slipping through your fingers like grains of sand. It is almost as though the universe possesses an innate sensitivity to desperation, responding by instinctively retracting its offerings. However, conversely, when you operate with a sense of unwavering purpose and calm confidence, a remarkable alignment begins to occur, allowing circumstances to unfold with a seemingly effortless naturalness. Such harmonious alignment underscores the value of inner peace and deliberate action. There exists a profound and significant divergence between the act of chasing and the art of attracting. The Stoics, with their profound understanding of human nature, grasped this distinction with remarkable clarity. Epictetus, the renowned Stoic philosopher, once articulated this principle eloquently, stating, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." In other words, and perhaps more importantly, before you embark on any course of action, ensure you possess an unwavering clarity regarding the underlying motivation driving your actions. Desperate action, often born from the depths of anxiety, stems from a place of fear, a fear of missing out on opportunities, a fear of experiencing failure, and a deep-seated fear of not being enough, of lacking inherent worth. Consequently, such actions are often impulsive and misguided. Conversely, purposeful action, radiating with confidence and direction, emanates from a place of inner clarity and unwavering strength. When you possess a deep understanding of your own identity, a clear sense of your values, and a firm grasp of what you stand for, your actions naturally become more deliberate, more grounded, and ultimately, more effective. Let us consider a concrete example to illustrate this critical difference. Imagine two individuals actively engaged in the pursuit of employment. The first person, driven by desperation, approaches the job search with a sense of frantic urgency. They indiscriminately send out applications to every available position, often applying for jobs that do not align with their skills, interests, or career aspirations. They succumb to panic with each rejection, allowing fear to dictate their actions. Their energy is scattered, their thoughts are clouded by anxiety, and their approach lacks a sense of certainty. The second person, in stark contrast, adopts a focused and strategic approach. They possess a clear understanding of their strengths, talents, and passions. They invest time and effort in crafting meaningful applications that showcase their qualifications and highlight their suitability for each specific role. They prepare diligently for interviews, but they do so without obsessing over immediate results, maintaining a sense of calm and composure. In your estimation, which of these two individuals is more likely to secure employment? The answer is undeniably the one who exudes calmness, confidence, and strategic thinking, the one who approaches the job search with a sense of purpose rather than acting out of fear and desperation. The individual who understands their own value and can articulate it effectively is far more likely to impress potential employers. This fundamental principle, this distinction between chasing and attracting, extends far beyond the realm of employment and applies equally to interpersonal relationships. It speaks to the power of self-awareness, the importance of authenticity, and the transformative effect of approaching life with a sense of clarity and purpose. Entering into a relationship driven by desperation, born out of a deep-seated fear of loneliness, or primarily to seek external validation, often paves the way for eventual disappointment. It's a disheartening truth. However, the dynamics shift dramatically when you approach relationships with an unwavering sense of self-respect and genuine confidence. This empowered stance acts as a magnet, attracting healthier and significantly more fulfilling connections into your life. People, inherently, are drawn to individuals who radiate security and self-assuredness, not to those who are desperately grasping for attention and affirmation. The ancient Greek philosopher, Aristotle, eloquently spoke of eudaimonia, a profound state of living characterized by purpose and deep fulfillment. He firmly believed that authentic happiness doesn't stem from relentlessly chasing external possessions or fleeting pleasures. Instead, it originates from a place of profound alignment, aligning one's actions meticulously with their core virtues and deeply held values. Therefore, act with wisdom as your guiding principle, integrity as your unwavering compass, and purpose as the driving force behind your endeavors, and then, with trust, allow the outcomes to unfold naturally. When you navigate life with deliberate intention rather than succumbing to impulsive panic, you will invariably begin to make far more judicious and beneficial decisions. Consequently, you cease the unproductive expenditure of time and energy on endeavors that do not resonate with your authentic goals and aspirations. Consider, for a moment, the stark contrast between a seasoned chess player, a master of strategy, and a complete novice. The beginner, often overwhelmed by the complexities of the game, tends to react impulsively, making moves born out of a combination of fear and pervasive uncertainty. In stark contrast, the expert, possessing a deep understanding of the game's nuances, plays with remarkable patience and foresight. They possess the ability to see the bigger picture, meticulously planning their moves and making deliberate choices that align with their overarching strategy. This calculated approach, born of experience and wisdom, ultimately leads to a far more successful and fulfilling outcome. Life, in its intricate design, operates under consistent principles. If your actions are perpetually dictated by fear, you invariably make choices that amplify chaos in your existence. Conversely, should you choose to take a deliberate step back, acting with lucidity and placing unwavering trust in the unfolding process, you will inevitably find yourself progressing towards the life you genuinely desire. Therefore, the crucial question becomes, how does one transition from acting out of sheer desperation to acting with unwavering purpose? Initially, it is imperative to gain absolute clarity regarding your why. Introspectively question yourself, asking, am I pursuing this path because it resonates with my authentic desires, or am I propelled by the apprehension of lacking it? Secondly, deliberately decelerate your pace. Desperation breeds haste, while purpose thrives on patience. Instead of succumbing to decisions fueled by fear, grant yourself ample time for contemplation and make choices with discernment. This mindful approach allows for a more reasoned and effective course of action. And finally, cultivate unwavering self-belief. There is no need to forcibly manipulate circumstances to achieve desired outcomes. When you operate with unshakable confidence and profound alignment with your values, opportunities naturally gravitate towards you. Your inner compass, coupled with resolute action, will guide you toward success. The esteemed philosopher Seneca once wisely stated, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." A significant portion of desperation stems from imagined fears, what if I don't succeed, or what if I fail? These anxieties often overshadow the present moment and hinder our progress. However, the unvarnished truth is that you possess far greater strength than you may realize. Moreover, you need not frantically scramble for what is rightfully destined for you. Your inherent abilities and the natural unfolding of events will ultimately lead you to where you are meant to be. Embrace the journey, trust your instincts, and allow life to unfold with grace and purpose. Embark on your journey with unwavering purpose, stride forward with unshakable confidence, and behold as life, in its profound wisdom, begins to orchestrate events in your favor. Indeed, have you ever experienced that bone-deep exhaustion, that weariness that settles in from tirelessly attempting to micromanage every facet of your existence? You meticulously devise plans, you exert relentless pressure, you craft intricate strategies, yet, frustratingly, life stubbornly refuses to conform to the meticulously constructed narrative you envisioned. It is undeniably exasperating, isn't it? This ceaseless endeavor to mold individuals into performing in a prescribed manner, to coerce circumstances into assuming a predetermined configuration, and to anticipate each and every conceivable outcome, only to discover yourself feeling more burdened by stress and paradoxically less in command than ever before. It is as if the tighter you grasp, the more readily the very essence of what you seek to hold on to eludes your grasp, slipping inexorably through your fingers like grains of sand. However, herein lies the profound and somewhat counterintuitive truth: the very instant you relinquish your grip, the moment you surrender the illusion of absolute control, life, in its infinite capacity for surprise, commences to operate in harmonious alignment with your aspirations. The ancient Stoic philosophers, paragons of wisdom and self-mastery, possessed a deep and abiding comprehension of this fundamental principle. Epictetus, the renowned Stoic sage, eloquently proclaimed, "Freedom is the single most worthy goal in life. It is attained by disregarding those elements that lie unequivocally beyond the realm of our control." Reflect deeply upon the resonant wisdom embedded within those words. Genuine freedom, the kind that liberates the soul and empowers the spirit, does not arise from exerting dominion over every aspect of your external environment. Rather, it emanates from gracefully relinquishing the insatiable craving for absolute control. The more of your precious energy you squander in the futile endeavor to manage aspects that rightfully reside beyond your sphere of influence, the ever-shifting opinions of others, the unknowable tapestry of the future, the immutable annals of the past, the more you inexorably deplete your internal reserves, leaving you feeling drained, depleted, and ultimately, unfulfilled. Therefore, free yourself from the chains of unnecessary control, and allow life to unfold its magnificent potential. However, a profound shift occurs when you redirect your attention to the realm of your influence, your inner landscape of thoughts, your conscious actions, and your chosen responses to life's circumstances. By doing so, you effectively recapture your personal agency and empowerment. Consider, for instance, the complexity of interpersonal relationships. Reflect on whether you have ever attempted to alter someone's behavior or core nature. Perhaps you harbored a desire for a friend, a romantic partner, or a family member to exhibit different conduct, to demonstrate greater empathy, to offer more substantial support, or to align more closely with your preconceived expectations. Yet, despite the intensity of your efforts, they remained immutable, unchanged in their essential character. This fundamental inability stems from the fact that other individuals are not subject to our direct manipulation or control. We possess the capacity to engage in open communication, to establish and enforce healthy boundaries, and to exercise our discretion in selecting those whom we permit into our inner circle. However, we lack the authority to coerce another human being into undergoing a genuine transformation. Therefore, when you consciously relinquish this futile need for control, you liberate yourself from the ensuing frustration and enable relationships to evolve and flourish organically, unencumbered by artificial pressure. This same principle holds true when aspiring toward personal and professional success. A great number of individuals firmly believe that the key to achievement lies solely in intensifying their efforts and exerting maximum force, convinced that this will accelerate their progress toward their desired objectives. Nevertheless, there exists a crucial distinction between dedicated effort and counterproductive control. It is undoubtedly essential to diligently work toward the realization of your goals. However, becoming obsessed with every minuscule detail, experiencing excessive stress regarding precise timing, and harboring pervasive fear of potential failure will inevitably generate resistance and impede your advancement. Such an approach can actually sabotage your best intentions and prevent you from reaching your full potential. Instead, focus on the efforts you control. Seneca, the renowned Stoic philosopher, once articulated a profound truth: fate leads the willing and drags along the reluctant. Expressed differently, resisting the inherent current of existence inevitably begets needless adversity. Conversely, embracing the unfolding process and concentrating on the elements within your sphere of influence fosters a smoother, more harmonious progression. Consider the scenario of preparing for a pivotal job interview. You have diligently conducted your research, meticulously rehearsed your responses, and feel adequately equipped. However, instead of placing faith in your thorough preparation, you succumb to the insidious trap of overthinking. Doubts begin to surface. What if they pose a question beyond my ken? What if I commit a blunder? What if I am ultimately denied the position? Consequently, your energy metamorphoses from confident anticipation to debilitating anxiety. You enter the interview chamber a bundle of nerves, your body tense, your mind riddled with self-doubt. This compulsive need for absolute control ironically diminishes your performance. Nevertheless, envision taking a deliberate, calming breath. Reassure yourself that you have diligently completed the necessary groundwork. Consciously release your attachment to the ultimate outcome. You then stride into the interview relaxed, fully present, and significantly more likely to achieve success. This shift in mindset is a testament to the power of acceptance. Therefore, how does one embark on the journey of relinquishing control? Initially, it is crucial to discern between the factors that reside within your capacity to influence and those that lie beyond your grasp. This understanding forms the bedrock of a more peaceful and effective approach to life's inevitable challenges. By focusing on what you can control, such as your preparation and your attitude, you minimize the negative impact of external forces. The ancient Stoics, those astute observers of the human condition, firmly believed in what they termed the dichotomy of control. Essentially, this principle highlights that in life, there exist two distinct categories: elements we possess the power to influence and those that remain entirely beyond our grasp. Therefore, expending valuable energy fretting over matters beyond our control invariably culminates in profound frustration and a sense of helplessness. Secondly, and perhaps equally important, is the practice of acceptance. Life, in its intricate dance, rarely unfolds precisely according to our meticulously laid plans. However, this deviation from our envisioned course does not inherently signify that something is inherently amiss. Indeed, sometimes these unexpected detours, these unforeseen deviations, ultimately lead us towards destinations far more fulfilling and enriching than we could have ever initially imagined. And finally, cultivate trust, not only in the grand tapestry of life itself but, crucially, in your own inherent capabilities. Foster an unwavering belief in your capacity to navigate whatever challenges may arise, even those that stray far from your preconceived expectations. This self-assurance becomes a bedrock, a source of resilience in the face of adversity. Have you ever paused to observe that certain individuals seemingly magnetize success, attract opportunities, and even effortlessly radiate happiness? It is not, as one might hastily assume, that they possess some clandestine advantage, some secret formula for prosperity. Rather, it is their mindset, their deeply ingrained way of thinking, the unique manner in which they carry themselves, and the specific lens through which they perceive the world that collectively crafts a reality where abundance flows to them with remarkable ease. Conversely, consider those individuals who persistently fixate on their perceived shortcomings, those who dwell on what they lack. These individuals often find themselves locked in an unending struggle, regardless of the intensity of their efforts. This is not simply a matter of luck, a capricious roll of the dice. It is, instead, profoundly connected to the energy you consciously or unconsciously introduce into your own existence. The universe, in a sense, responds to the vibrations we emit. The Stoics, with their profound wisdom, grasped this intricate dynamic long before the advent of modern psychology, which has now validated their ancient insights. Their teachings resonate even more powerfully today, offering a timeless framework for navigating the complexities of life and cultivating inner peace. Thus, by embracing the dichotomy of control, practicing acceptance, and nurturing self-trust, we can, therefore, unlock a more fulfilling and resilient existence. Epictetus profoundly stated, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." This timeless wisdom suggests that true abundance isn't found in amassing riches, accumulating accolades, or perpetually striving for more. Rather, it resides in recognizing the inherent completeness of your present existence, understanding that you already possess all that is necessary for a truly fulfilling life. Therefore, it's about shifting your perspective from a sense of deficiency to one of sufficiency. When you liberate yourself from a scarcity mindset, that nagging feeling that you never have quite enough, you inherently create space for abundance to flow into your life organically. Imagine, if you will, two individuals entering the very same room. The first person is consumed by a relentless focus on what they lack. They engage in constant comparison with others, plagued by the feeling that they are perpetually falling behind, convinced that genuine success remains forever beyond their grasp. As a result, their energy feels heavy, their words are laced with doubt and negativity, and they unwittingly push away potential opportunities. In stark contrast, the second person enters the room imbued with the unwavering belief that they already possess enough. They recognize they have sufficient knowledge, adequate skills, and a wealth of opportunities waiting to be explored. With this confidence, they engage authentically, forging connections effortlessly, and ultimately depart with a host of new possibilities unfolding before them. The fundamental distinction between these two individuals. One was trapped within the confines of scarcity, while the other was radiating the expansive energy of abundance. And this principle extends far beyond mere financial prosperity or conventional notions of success. It resonates deeply within our relationships, our capacity for happiness, and even our perception of time itself. Therefore, embracing the mindset of abundance is not simply about accumulating more, it is about recognizing the inherent richness and potential that already exist within your life. If you harbor the conviction that insufficiency reigns supreme, that there is never an adequate supply of affection, never quite enough time, never a sufficient number of benevolent souls inhabiting our world, then, inevitably, your mind will relentlessly seek out substantiation for this deeply ingrained belief. Consequently, you will perpetually find yourself surrounded by evidence reinforcing this perceived lack. However, should you deliberately redirect your focal point, a transformative shift will begin to occur, and you will, with increasing clarity, start perceiving prospects and possibilities blossoming in every conceivable direction. You will, with newfound sensitivity, recognize the inherent kindness residing within others, acknowledge the untapped potential nestled within each fleeting moment, and, perhaps most significantly, appreciate the countless blessings that already enrich and define your existence. The eminent psychologist, William James, once articulated a profound truth, stating, "The greatest discovery of my generation is that a human being can alter his life by altering his attitudes." This sentiment underscores a fundamental principle of human psychology. If you are perpetually plagued by the nagging sensation that you are somehow deficient, that something crucial is consistently eluding your grasp, your brain, functioning as a highly efficient search engine, will relentlessly concentrate on that perceived void. Therefore, your experience will be shaped by this perceived absence. But conversely, if you consciously undertake the effort to train your mind to perceive abundance, to cultivate a deep sense of gratitude for all that you possess, to nurture unwavering confidence in your abilities, and to foster an unshakable trust in the inherent goodness of life, you will, in effect, begin to fundamentally reshape your entire reality. This is not some fantastical illusion or some ethereal form of magic, rather, it is a testament to the power of perception. What you choose to focus upon, what you diligently nurture with your attention, will invariably flourish and expand within your experience. Consider, for instance, a musician embarking upon their career with a scarcity mindset firmly entrenched within their psyche. Such an individual will be perpetually beset by anxieties, constantly consumed by the fear that opportunities are vanishingly rare, that the music industry is an unremittingly competitive arena, and that they, personally, are destined to never achieve the success they so ardently desire. This pervasive fear, fueled by a scarcity mentality, will undoubtedly hinder their progress and stifle their creative potential. Each time a musician faces rejection, it can feel like confirmation of their deepest anxieties. Consequently, they often opt for the familiar and secure path, hesitant to embrace risks that might lead to extraordinary achievements. They miss out on opportunities that could potentially revolutionize their career. Now, envision a different kind of musician, one who possesses an unwavering belief in abundance. This individual perceives each rejection not as a failure, but rather as a redirection, guiding them toward a more suitable path. Every obstacle is viewed as an invaluable chance for refinement and growth. This musician boldly takes risks, actively seeks connections with others, and ultimately discovers triumph. This success isn't attributed to mere luck, instead, it stems from embodying the principle of abundance, as opposed to being paralyzed by fear. Therefore, the question arises, how can you begin to cultivate this sense of abundance within your own life? Initially, it starts with profound gratitude. Instead of dwelling on what is lacking, shift your focus to appreciate what you already possess. When you genuinely value what you have, you inadvertently attract more of it into your life. Secondly, conduct yourself as if you already have an ample supply of resources and opportunities. Move through life with unwavering confidence, secure in the knowledge that possibilities are omnipresent. And finally, learn to release your attachment to specific outcomes. Trust that what is truly meant for you will inevitably arrive, not through forceful exertion, but rather through the harmonious alignment of your actions and beliefs. Have you ever found yourself excessively fixated on a particular goal, relentlessly pushing harder and harder, only to experience the frustrating sensation of running in endless circles? This is often a sign that you are operating from a place of scarcity, rather than abundance. It's a reminder to step back, reassess your approach, and reconnect with the belief that everything you need is already within reach. You meticulously execute every task, adhering to each step with precision, and yet, the desired outcomes don't materialize with the swiftness you crave. It's undeniably frustrating, wouldn't you agree? From a young age, we're instilled with the belief that success is solely predicated on relentless effort, on an unwavering commitment to perseverance. However, a crucial distinction often eludes many: the disparity between aligned action and desperate action. Consequently, the true key to advancement lies in discerning when to proactively engage and when to strategically withdraw. The Stoics possessed a profound comprehension of this nuanced concept. Seneca, the renowned philosopher, once wisely articulated, "Effort and patience will achieve more than force and anxiety." Our contemporary society tends to idolize the relentless grind, fostering the conviction that sheer determination guarantees a favorable outcome. Nevertheless, genuine success transcends blind effort. It necessitates taking judicious steps, remaining receptive to emergent opportunities, and then allowing life to unfold organically. The inherent issue with coercing outcomes is that it invariably generates resistance. It's akin to tugging vehemently at a stubborn knot. The more force you exert, the more tightly bound it becomes. To illustrate, envision the act of attempting to fall asleep. You cannot simply force yourself into slumber, can you? The harder you strive for slumber, the more elusive it becomes, a frustrating paradox indeed. But the instant you truly unwind, release your grip on the need for sleep, and trust that it will inevitably arrive, it materializes effortlessly, a natural and welcome occurrence. This principle, remarkably, extends far beyond the realm of sleep. It resonates with the pursuit of success, the cultivation of meaningful relationships, and even the journey of personal growth. Taking decisive action is, undoubtedly, crucial, yet equally important is placing your faith in the unfolding process. Consider the image of a farmer diligently planting seeds. They meticulously prepare the soil, carefully sow the seeds, provide essential watering, and ensure adequate sunlight reaches their crops. However, following this initial burst of activity, they refrain from the counterproductive act of exhuming the seeds daily, impatiently demanding accelerated growth. Instead, they embrace a fundamental trust that, with the passage of time, the crops will flourish and yield a bountiful harvest. Should they succumb to the urge to rush this intricate process, they would, in all likelihood, inflict irreparable damage upon their precious seedlings. Life, in its multifaceted complexity, operates according to a strikingly similar set of principles. You initiate action, diligently perform your designated part, but subsequently, you must cultivate the unwavering belief that events will naturally evolve at their own predetermined pace. This fundamental understanding possesses universal applicability, touching upon virtually every facet of human existence. Take, for instance, the intricate dynamics of interpersonal relationships. Have you, perchance, ever encountered an individual who manifestly tried too hard to forge a connection? Perhaps they exhibited excessive eagerness, inundating you with a barrage of text messages, or perpetually seeking validation and reassurance. Their overall energy seemed oppressive, almost tinged with desperation. In stark contrast, consider the individual who exudes an aura of calm confidence, demonstrating sincere interest while simultaneously respecting personal space. This person understands the delicate balance between connection and independence, fostering a more genuine and sustainable relationship. They possess an undeniable magnetism, effortlessly drawing others in, and the reason is simple: they abstain from forcing outcomes. This phenomenon arises when one undertakes actions that resonate with their core values and simultaneously relinquishes the need for absolute control. In essence, you are crafting an environment where opportunities can naturally unfold, rather than stifling their potential. Consider, for instance, the trajectory of your professional life. Perhaps you've been tirelessly pursuing every conceivable opportunity, yet progress feels frustratingly elusive. Now, contemplate an alternative. What if, instead of succumbing to panic, you placed your faith in the intrinsic value of your work? What if you channeled your energy into achieving excellence in your chosen field, cultivating genuine connections, and allowing the appropriate doors to swing open at the opportune moment? This is not a call for passive inactivity, rather, it signifies a conscious decision to relinquish the illusion of complete control over every outcome. Engage in intelligent, purposeful endeavors, and then, crucially, trust that what is genuinely destined for you will inevitably materialize. Marcus Aurelius, in his timeless work, Meditations, articulated this principle with remarkable clarity: do what you must, and let what happens happen. This statement encapsulates the very essence of aligned action. It encourages you to concentrate on the elements within your sphere of influence, your dedication, your self-discipline, your mental fortitude, while simultaneously refraining from becoming fixated on the ultimate results. For, in truth, irrespective of the meticulousness of your planning or the intensity of your efforts, there will invariably be factors that lie beyond your direct control. Therefore, embrace the power of letting go and trust the process. And the more you resist that unvarnished truth, the more profoundly stressed and intensely frustrated you inevitably become. This resistance acts as a self-imposed barrier, hindering your progress and clouding your perception of reality. So, the critical question arises: how do you actually embrace and practice this profound philosophy in your daily, tangible life? First, gain absolute clarity regarding your ultimate goal and then diligently take all the necessary and purposeful steps towards its attainment. Thoroughly prepare yourself, engage in rigorous training, continuously learn and expand your knowledge base, and diligently do your part with unwavering commitment. This proactive approach lays a strong foundation for success. Second, consciously let go of the relentless need to rigidly control precisely when and precisely how the desired results will ultimately show up. Instead, gracefully accept the inherent reality that the timing is decidedly not always solely up to you. There are external forces, unforeseen circumstances, and the unpredictable nature of life itself that can influence the unfolding of events. And third, cultivate unwavering trust in your own innate and remarkable resilience. Even in the face of adversity, even if things don't go exactly as meticulously you planned, remember that you possess the inherent capacity to adapt to changing circumstances, to grow stronger through challenges, and to discover entirely new and potentially even more rewarding opportunities along the way. At the end of the proverbial day, life is undeniably not about rigidly controlling every single outcome, meticulously orchestrating every detail. Rather, it is profoundly about mastering yourself, cultivating inner strength, and developing emotional intelligence. The moment you consciously shift your focus from relentlessly chasing external validation and material possessions to aligning your actions with your core values and authentic self, from stubbornly forcing outcomes to gracefully flowing with the natural rhythms of life, everything, seemingly miraculously, starts to effortlessly fall into place. The Stoics, those wise and insightful philosophers, understood this timeless truth centuries ago, and now it is yours to actively apply, to integrate into your daily existence, and to reap the immense benefits. So, inhale a deep and calming breath, place unwavering trust in the unfolding process, and always remember that real and enduring power emanates from deep within your very core. If this particular video resonated deeply within you, if its message struck a chord and ignited your spirit, then there's yet another one, thoughtfully curated and displayed on the screen right now, that will undoubtedly take you even deeper into the boundless realms of profound Stoic wisdom, offering further insights and practical guidance for navigating the complexities of life with grace and resilience. Engage with the material further by giving it a click and continuing your learning journey. Furthermore, ensure you've tapped that subscribe button to remain constantly updated, guaranteeing that you never overlook a fresh piece of profound wisdom. Thank you immensely for being an integral part of the community. I eagerly anticipate connecting with you in the upcoming installment. This, precisely, encapsulates the very essence of what the Stoics imparted to us. Their teachings, relevant even in our modern era, emphasized continuous self-improvement and unwavering dedication to virtue. Thus, their philosophy provides an enduring framework for navigating the complexities of life. Therefore, reflecting on these principles allows us to cultivate inner resilience and find tranquility amidst the chaos. Such a philosophy encourages us to live with purpose and intention. Consequently, embracing the Stoic path can lead to a more fulfilling and meaningful existence. It is a journey of constant learning and self-discovery. Ultimately, this pursuit resonates deeply with the human spirit.